Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Pet back in the video today, and today the Houston Rockets beat the San Antonio Spurs 114-101 and get their second straight win. What a performance from the Rockets. Held Wembanyama to only 10 points with 11 rebounds in this game, which I want to note the fact that, yes, great, the Rockets held Wembanyama to 10 points, 11 rebounds, and not only that, but he also didn't score at all in the second half. But I also want to say that Wembanyama did not take one shot in the second half. So the Rockets did do a really good job, on him in that second half. I think that's a big reason why he wasn't shooting the basketball. But Wembanyama, yes, scored 0 in the second half, but didn't take any shot attempts. But he also did have 7 blocks, which I thought was really impressive. Obviously, he's a big shot blocker, but 7 is still pretty decent for him. I think he's definitely reached that this season a couple times, if not higher. But I think with him struggling a little bit tonight, I don't think 7 blocks on a terrible night where he turned the ball over 6 times, shot 4 for 10, which is 40% field goal percentage, was probably down compared to his average. Not a good night for him. But how about a center who had a good night? And the Rockets got some light on TNT, and something that the TNT that they said on the TNT postgame. This game was not on TNT, but something they did say is that we have a Victor Wembanyama matchup, and that's not the center we're talking about, and it's Alperen Sengun who was getting attention in this game, and that it's just unbelievable performance from Sengun in this one. 45 points, a career high, 16 rebounds, 19 for 32, 2 for 3 from 3, 5 for 7 at the free throw line. And not only did he have 45 points, a career high, and 16 rebounds, but he had another career high tonight. 5 steals for Sengun. Not only did Sengun have 5 steals, but Fred VanVleet had 4 steals as well for the Rockets. Rockets steals had 15 tonight, 5 blocks. They played excellent defense in the second half, held the Spurs to 48 points. I want to talk about how I'm really starting to like this Spurs-Rockets rivalry. And I know these two teams have always had a rivalry, but it seems like this rivalry now, it's pretty nice. We've seen some interesting games between these two teams this season, and I want to go over those games. Just a quick recap, real quick. So, first game of the season between these two teams, which was actually the second game of the season for both teams, was in San Antonio. It was Wembanyama's second game as a San Antonio Spur, and it was the Rockets' second game of the season. It was a great game, back and forth, absolutely great game. Rockets blow a fourth quarter lead. The game goes to overtime. Again, great overtime game. Rockets lose. Then a couple months later, in December, we'll go to Houston. And I went to this game, actually. The Rockets beat the San Antonio Spurs. I think they won by like 9 or something. It was a really low-scoring game. It felt like I went to that game. It felt like a game that we used to see back in the old days, where it was low scoring, low offense, not as much as offense, just good defense, good rebounding. It felt like a basketball game from like 10 years ago. It felt like that type of energy was what I'm trying to say. And the Rockets got a good win. It was a great game in general when the Rockets beat the Spurs in Houston the first time, and now they beat them again. And this was a great game. This was a really close game. The Rockets, yes, won by 13 points, but this was a 3-point game to start the fourth quarter. The Rockets outscored San Antonio by 10 points in the fourth quarter. This was a 3-point game in the fourth quarter, and it was a decent, until Sengun went off at the end of the fourth quarter. This was a little bit of a close game. This was pretty much a close game, and this was a good game tonight with Sengun's performance and Wembanyama struggling, and a close game up until the Rockets, taking over at the end of the fourth. This was a great game for both teams, in my opinion. I don't think the Spurs played that bad tonight. I think just the way Sengun played in this game, Rockets outplayed the Spurs. 45 points for Sengun, like I said. Also, you have 2 other players with over 20 points. That is Jalen Green, 23 points, 3 assists, 1 steal. Terrible shooting night for Jalen Green. Now, I know Jalen's been shooting the ball recently really well. He shot in Phoenix, shot incredible in Phoenix. That was great. I love seeing that. Shot 11 for 23 tonight and 1 for 10 from 3 with 23 points. Honestly, man, if I love Jalen, but you take the 3-point shooting out of his game, he ends up with 20 points on 10 for 13 shooting. Outside of his 3-point shooting tonight, Jalen Green had an efficient ball game. He shot outside of shooting the 3 ball. He shot 10 for 13 with 20 points. Honestly, I get taking a 3 here and there, but I think Jalen Green, I don't think I know we saw what he just did in Phoenix for a 2-game stretch. Shot the lights out of the ball. What he scored 34 points and 38 points in the 2 games against the Phoenix Suns, something like that. Or maybe it was actually, you know what? It was 34 points in both games, but shot unbelievable. I think he hit 14 threes in those 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. I get that. But I still think he's too inconsistent to shoot the 3 that much. And 1 for 10, I don't know why he's shooting the ball that much, but I think outside of the 3 ball in this game, I usually with Jalen, I would hate on him so bad for shooting 1 for 10, but speaking the fact that he shot 10 for 13 out from the 3, he had a good game in this one, but just took too many 3-pointers in this one. And honestly, if I were the Rockets, I was the coaching staff, I know they want to get him out of a slump when he's in one. I'm not going to say he's been in a slump because he's coming off a great 3-point shooting performance, but when he is in a slump mid-game, I'm not talking about, after multiple games, but when he's in a slump in the game, he tries to get himself out of the slump he's in, and it just makes it worse for himself. And honestly, I would cut the three-pointers out of his game if I were the Rockets. I would if I were the Rockets and I was Jay, you were controlling the offense. I wouldn't have Jalen shooting over 5 3-pointers a game unless he's hot. I mean, like if he's taking 5 and he's hit 3 or 4 or maybe 2, then I think he has the green light. But if he's shooting 1 for 5, no business shooting the ball. 0 for 5, no business shooting the ball. But but I think outside of the 3-ball tonight, he was great. Let's talk about somebody who did have 20 points and was great from the 3-ball. That was Fred VanVleet. 21 points, 10 assists, a double-double for him. He's the second player outside of Sengun to have a double-double. VanVleet shot 5 for 9 from 3. That's back-to-back games for VanVleet, where he's shot really good from 3. He shot really good from 3 in the final game against Phoenix. I think he hit like 6 or 7 threes, something like that. 8 for 15 shooting. Outside of the amazing performance from VanVleet, Green, and Sengun, those 3 starters for the Rockets combined for 99 points. Dillon Brooks had 0 points, 36 minutes, only took 3 shots, 0 for 2, had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Just wasn't shooting the basketball. Jabari Smith Jr., 1 for 6, 0 for 3 from 3, 2 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. And then off the bench, Cam Whitmore was excellent off the bench. 19 points for Cam Whitmore with 8 rebounds. So he nearly had a double-double as well. 9 for 16 for him, 1 for 4 from 3 as well. I mean, you combined Whitmore, VanVleet, Sengun, and Jalen Green. Those guys, you had 40 points between VanVleet and Whitmore. Add that with Sengun, you have 85. 108 points between... you had 108 points between Sengun, VanVleet, and Jalen Green. So, honestly, man, those 4 guys they're something else. I mean, I know Jalen had an off 3-point shooting night, but all 4 of those guys played great basketball tonight. And you look outside of Sengun, VanVleet, Jalen Green, and Cam Whitmore, there were only 6 other points tonight for the Rockets. 2 points for Jock Landale. 8 rebounds. I think he's done a lot better rebounding the basketball recently. He had 1 steal as well. Jock Landale's been playing better basketball recently. I'm not trying to jinx it for him because he's been playing better. And Ben Thompson had 2 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 0 for 4 shooting, 0 for 2 from 3. He's another guy that needs to stop shooting the 3-ball. And then Jabari had the 2 points. That's it. I mean, Aaron Holiday only played 5 minutes, 0 points. Bullock Jr. played 3 minutes, 0 points. So, yeah. And outside of Wembanyama, they had 22 from Devin Vassell. They had 20 from Malachi Branham. They had 18 from Keldon Johnson. Rockets get the win. They get their second straight win, improved to 27-34. And then tomorrow is a back-to-back against the Clippers. James Harden returns to Houston. Interesting thing about that is that the Rockets play well at home. They're playing someone familiar in James Harden, a couple other former Rockets as well. You got PJ Tucker, Russell Westbrook if he's healthy, but he is not. He is going to be out for a while. So, and I believe there were a couple former Rockets. They had Robert Covington, they had KJ Martin, and a couple other guys, but Marcus Morris Sr., but those guys got traded to the Philadelphia 76ers in the Harden trade. They had a lot of former Rockets that were moved. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section, and peace out. Go Rockets.